good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Foxter, on the panel this evening as the one and only Bridgeman, and Linda and all our friends. How we doing, Linda? How we doing, Bridge?
Doing fine, Ox. Good evening to everyone. Hope you're all well.
Can I say a big good evening to you two guys on the panel? Sorry?
Carry on, Bridge.
No, can I just say a big good evening to the guys on the panel? Huge good evening to the guys in the lobby and to all the Rangers fans that are listening in all over the world. Good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
And we've also been joined with GB. Evening, Gary. Port Bear. Evening, Port.
Good evening, Ox. Good evening, Bridgeman, and good evening, Linda. Nice to meet you, Linda. Hope you're all well, guys.
Yeah.
And girls.
How are you feeling, Port?
We've also just been joined by Stephen from Jump Chapel. How are we doing,
Stephen?
Many names, so just say good evening to the troops. Yes, indeed, it's 40 hours on Friday, and I'm looking forward to it.
This is the only place you'll get a drink tonight, I think.
How are you then, Big Stevie? How you doing?
Bridgeman, how are you, mate?
Excellent.
How's your 60th? Good.
What was that, 60th what?
How's your 60th telly, alright?
Aye, it's good. Brilliant, pal. Brilliant.
It's a 60-inch telly in the kitchen, by the way. The big one's in the living room.
I have hinted to Mrs. Bridgeman that I might want to have a look at a 75-inch telly for the living room. She hit me, but she threw things at me and things like that.
We've also been joined by Gary. GB, how we doing?
I'm good. How are you all?
Hi, Gary.
Hi, Gary.
Hello there.
Hey, Gary boy.
Nice to hear you all. Always have a lovely night.
All right, okay, so we're all on and we're going to have a wee look back at the season so far. Linda, is that all right with you? Because you're in charge.
That sounds perfect, Ox.
All right, Bridgeman, you're the man. You're the brains and the money man of this outfit. So you can. How's it went for you so far?
The season?
Aye.
It's better than I expected, to be honest. There's sometimes it's because of the waiting situation and you don't get the same result, but you're waiting to see your team at Ibrox, and because you're not going to Ibrox, it's slightly different, you know. Half the games are, at my age anyway, I would only want to watch it on the telly anyway. I wouldn't go away. But for Ibrox, that's a bit I miss, going to Ibrox. Mm-hmm. And I think, really and truly, we're getting to see our team on the TV, given the fact about COVID, and it's virtually worldwide now. Some people are getting off better than we are. But goodness sake, I'm just pleased that our team's there and we're doing well. And I'm happy about that, really happy.
Mm-hmm. Linda, there's been a lot of movement. The squad's changed a lot since in the last 6 months, if I've been honest. What's been the big moments for you so far, and who's impressed?
Well, I think, as Bridgeman said, it was going to be a big season for us. You know, domestic. We want domestic success. We've obviously come up short the last couple of seasons. We also wanted to qualify for the Europa League. So we did have to try and bring in some new players, Ox, and try and build the squad up so it was going to challenge on all these different fronts. And I think we've done that, with the players that we've brought in. And we were, hoping that we would have, 2 players for every position. And, with the recent signings just at the beginning of the week there, hopefully we've achieved that. But I'm really relatively happy with the start we've made to the season. We're at top of the league. We've made an outstanding achievement in qualifying for the Europa League again, 3 years running. So very happy, and, we just have to keep it going.
Mm-hmm. All right. Any moments that stood out for you, Port Bear?
Probably the biggest part of the season for me so far, mate, was getting to the Europa for the 3rd year in the running. Gerrard, in my opinion, is building something special right now, Oxchair. And that doesn't happen overnight. And over the last sort of 2.5 seasons since a man came in, getting to the last 32, mate, is absolutely fantastic for me. I don't forget my own backside, mate, where we were in 2012 to where we are now. We're now a stronger league challenge for the team across the road, and we're going from strength to strength, mate. And hopefully the signing of Zuniga will be the big difference, and maybe that'll be the final piece of the jigsaw, you know, to push us over that line. But what a season, or a start of the season, sorry mate, we've had. I'm over the moon, mate, but the Europa thing's massive for me.
Yeah, I get that, mate. I think that would, the Galatasaray would actually be the highlight for most people, getting that result for a team at a decent level. Big Stevie, what about yourself? How's it gone for you? How's things?
Oh, the season for me, Ox, has been brand new. You can't ask any man of the bells. You know, a couple of wee draws here and there, but apart from that, we've been absolutely fantastic. I can't really say much more, but Port Bell's already said there, and that the people have already said. But one of the highlights for me was Steven Gerrard telling the Galatasaray manager to shut up. That was quick. It just had enough of him, though. So it was quite good, you know. But no, getting back to it, I feel the only things missing this season, obviously, the Bells not getting back into Ibrox. That's a big thing for me. I mean, I've got a 13-year-old boy, he's chipping at the bit, man. When are we getting back? You know? But lo and behold, the Bells are playing great with us, and long may they continue. Somebody says you'll get into Ibrox this season, but you win the league. I'd take that in a heartbeat. So
Don't think
it's just no. Aye, no, I don't think I would. I think that everybody would take that. Just the same as we would have took getting through into the Europa group and having a sticky 2-0 win in the last game there, you know. I think every manager would have took that as well, Ox, no?
It's been eventful, Gary. We're in unique circumstances. I think we're all missing the games, you know. But we've got a substitute on the telly. But we're seeing the new players. John McLaughlin, obviously Zunga now, Balogun's come in. Ruth and Eton have scored goals. Is the squad in a better place for you, mate?
Aye, definitely, Ox. I mean, again, the manager's been wanting to do this. He's wanted to make every position stronger, so there's competition there and stuff like that. And not even that, there has been work elsewhere, like say in the youth system. We have invested there as well, in signing up players, so there's been money spent there as well, not just even on the first team. So we're spending for the future as well, which is great. I want to probably personally just congratulate the medical staff, and I hope they're listening, because the work that they've had to do every time they bring the players in, keeping them all safe, and that's through the youth system and the women's team as well and all that, just keeping them all safe and tested, and in touch with that will continue. But what I say is overall,
Here, we know how difficult it is here in the studio. We had to do away with the biscuits because everybody kept fighting on them.
I know, too many horns in a biscuit tin. But no, again, let's see, the team are doing great, and I can only echo what everybody else has said, that getting back into Europe has been massive, and let's see, with the amount of money we've spent in a pandemic is unbelievable, considering there's businesses out there that are struggling badly. I mean, and we've been probably, in fact, I think I've worked it out. This has been our most expensive transfer window. So I mean, you can't ask much more than that.
Big Stephen from Drumchapel. It's a private joke there. He'll understand where I'm coming from. Stephen from Drumchapel. You mentioned there before we come on there about the news on the investment coming into the club.
Aye, seen some businessman's come in and pumped another £4 million. He's already put £1 million in, and I think he's pumped another £4 million in to make him the fourth biggest shareholder at the club. You know, and you can't ask for more than that. The investment going into the club this season is, my God, and I think it was Gary there that was touching on some of the stuff there. I know. I mean, my gels and the season tickets, car store, you name it, and there's another guy pumped another £4 million in. I mean, we're talking about it. Who says we're skinty? We're absolutely doing brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And then we've always got our safety net with a bridge, you know. Anything goes under the bridge, you know.
Shocker.
I don't know if we would get the money off the bridge because they bulk beds that him and his wife sleep in there. They maybe fall with all the money that's under them.
It's
Shocker.
Oh dear. Right, I'm looking for the guy's name actually. I did have it, but I've lost it, Steve. I'll get it back in a minute. Bridgeman. There is a lot of positivity going on at the club, isn't there?
I think as Big Stevie said, it's just fantastic. And we've been saying it over the last couple of nights a lot alone as well. We're all desperate to get back to see the team, but the truth of the matter is we are playing well, and you can make these wee comments that maybe you could work out that the playing without fans might be better for the Rangers football team at the present moment, and the other pressures they can handle the thing, you know. If the crowd were there when the wee mistakes happen, they get on their back and it just screws up their momentum. But seriously, the whole club, and you were telling us the other night that they've started big lorries in it, round about the what do you call it, Edmondson House. So I'm delighted that started as well. So you're going to have a whole load of work going on while there's no fans in the stadium, and that gives everybody a better chance to get in, get their work done, and out again as quickly as possible. And we'll see how we go on for there. Seriously, I'm so happy the way things are going for Rangers right now. Like a duff a daffodil, there you are. That's how good I am.
Stuart Gibson's the lad's name, Big Stevie.
sorry.
Speaking about that's fantastic. Just to reiterate what Big Stevie the drum says, that's a wonderful thing to happen with Rangers. We knew getting close to the tail end of last year, we were expecting a good investment coming in, and there you go. So the guys put £5 million in, and that's fantastic. Over two sort of payments, one earlier in the year and one here, and that's just brilliant. That's paid off with a share issue for them, a small share issue. Absolutely wonderful. And Rangers, keep it going.
Stuart Gibson's the guy's name, Stevie.
Stuart Gibson, that's right. Aye, he's an Asian businessman that lives there, but he's from here. Is that right, Ox?
I think so. I obviously
Set a company up. Aye, he's worth a few quid, and as Bridgeman said, the enthusiasm going right through the club. I know, man. I mean, I'm whistling Dixie myself. You know, it's absolutely brilliant, man. The Bears are all. Well, the Meerkats were up sitting again, and we're watching everything that goes on. And let's be honest, guys. See if we beat this mob next week, they will fold like a pack of cards. Trust us. They will
you're the
fold.
first person to say that, mate.
That's just what I feel. I can see it now. People know the cracks of now, guys. And if we just go out and give one full 90 minutes, leave blood, sweat and tears on that part, send it, do the business for the Bears, they will fold like a pack of cards. They're looking back for it, trust me.
He's not the first one to mention pack of cards in that mob, Linda, is he?
No, and as Stevie says, if we can win that game and put a marker down, you know, it's really going to set us up nicely for, you know, a really tough period ahead, you know, before the next international break, because we'll have, I think it's maybe 7 or 8 games that we've got in that short period, but that would just set us up nicely and, you know, take us forward. And, you know, we've actually done all right against Celtic the last few games, and we won 2-1 there as well. So, you know we can do it, and we've also got players actually that can stand up and play well there. And one that jumps out at me is Ryan Kent, who I think's been really fantastic so far this season. He loves playing there, and will go there with a lot of confidence, Ox.
I think young Kent's been excellent so far this season. He's maybe been quiet the last 3 games, but he's not been bad, if you know what I mean. Just a wee bit quiet still. Arguably one of our best players in this season so far, GB.
Yep, he's started to produce what we've all been crying out for. We've been needing that player that can just give us that wee bit extra. I mean, we've got good players, but we've always seen Kent as that guy that I'm not saying the Paul Gascoigne, but is that one player that we spent a lot of money on, and we expect him to create goals and score goals in the big games. And to be fair to Ken, like Linda's saying, he has turned up against Celtic, and again, it might just be a game that he relishes. So hopefully, again next week, he turns up for it and has a great game. I like all the team. I think he'll actually be surprised with a lot of the guys that have not played in an Old Firm. They might have a great game and all.
It'll be a different Old Firm. I mean, they'll have a big advantage to us, Bridge. They'll be used to playing in front of all the empty stands. We're no.
Yeah, there was a time they were playing. Surely they shut the whole stand down, didn't they, when Rangers won the upper tiers? They just couldn't get the people to come in. And lo and behold, as soon as Rangers rear their head up and they return to the Premiership, there away they go, you know. And I don't know how many season tickets they've got. They claim to have millions, and I mean that, they claim to have millions. Obviously, it's not true. Obviously, I don't know how many they've got, but yeah, you're right. Big empty space, big empty spaces. I want to see it. And I'm not talking about the Rangers end. I'm talking about the big end. Oh dear. I find it very funny. I do apologise. I do.
I'm a fat man.
Yeah, was the stats in the season so far?
Season so far, mate. Rangers have played absolutely fantastic. They've scored 44 goals and conceded only 3. So we're still banging them in, mate. We're getting goals all over the pitch. And our defence is, very, very mean, mate, at giving goals away. So we're doing very well, and we're also top of the league, mate.
Is that your stats, your whole stats, and nothing but the stats?
That's my whole stats. That's unless we've signed 7 players as well.
Are you sure they're correct?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're correct. Yes.
Okay, just that when I went to school, 1 goal against Motherwell, 2 against Hibs, and 1 against Galatasaray was 4.
Obviously, it was meaning the league, wouldn't you, Port? Wouldn't you? I'm trying to cover for you, Port. Say yes.
Yes.
GB, if you're going to come up on here with stats, make sure they're correct, huh?
Make sure they do homework. Are we creating pre-season and all?
No. We never lost any goals in pre-season, did we?
No, we beat Lyon 2-0. We beat Nice 2-0.
Who else did we play with? Many more games at Ibrox. We played Motherwell, didn't we?
Yeah, played Coventry as well. Beat them 2-0. Motherwell 4-0.
Was your stats just league games, or was it all our games, including the European ties?
Give me a wee look. No, just league games, mate. No, sorry. No, league.
He doesn't know.
I'm just looking at the second page. It was European ties as well, yeah.
Right, okay, so your stats
44 and 3.
Your stats were right, yeah? Well,
I'll draw a wee unhappy face, next year.
We've conceded 4 goals. There's nothing wrong with his stats. He's just been arithmetic's not very good, Steve.
Well, shite.
Right, play that tune again. We'll try again, Fox.
No, don't, Fox. Don't you listen to him.
Stop digging, poor bear. Stop digging.
I've stopped digging.
What we will say is, it doesn't matter if it's 3 or 4 conceded. Big Stevie, they're impressive stats.
Of course they are, but their defence, see what you want about them. They've lost a goal here and there, but apart from that, they're solid enough. The 2 goalies are taking shots each, and you feel confident no matter who's in there. And having a good goal along with the back four, it breeds confidence. Stats, the good thing about all these stats is we're not relying on one man this season. We're getting goals from all over the place and everything else as well. So I'm quite happy with his stats. Still, Stattle there, he's got it bang on. He's done his homework. He's bang on. No, Gotham man, Batman down in Gotham City there, he's got it spot on.
How many individual players have scored? Has everybody pretty much? The midfield's not a great return, but there were a lot of different goal scorers there.
Yep.
Who have we got? We've got Tav, Helander, Goldson, Barisic.
Yep.
Kent, Hadji,
Morelos,
Alfie, Arfield.
Itten.
Scored as well. You get 2, yeah.
Jones.
Roof.
Yes, Roof and Jones, yeah.
Quarter $19 $19 quarter $19 quarter $19 to get $1 and a quarter $20 now the quarter to get $1 and a dime then.
Oh, Stato.
Oh dear.
Barker
Fox
scored
is
as
a
well.
bad man.
Who?
Fox is a
Barker.
bad man.
Ah, so he did, mate. He did. He certainly did.
Aribo.
Yes.
Joe, yes.
Barker.
Barker. He scored the last goal.
He scored at the weekend, aye. Yep.
He scored the last goal. We can't remember it, Stevie.
Keir, can I ask this? Who's out of Barisic and Tav? Who's in the most assists?
Tavernier.
Aye. And goals in, I know.
I think that's very, very close, that one. I think that's very, very close.
Right, some great stats there, Port. All right, I'll overtake the P, but some interesting.
Yeah, I know.
There. But Linda, Stevie made a great point that we're not getting goals. It was pretty much this time last season. It was on the phone with Morelos. It's a whole squad now.
Yeah, and I think we talked about that at the beginning of the season as well, the fact that we probably needed that because last year we were totally over-reliant on Alfie, and if he was, he was off the mark or he just wasn't playing well, we ended up, we drew games or we even lost games up. So, it's great that the goals are coming from all over the team. It's also the squad as well, because there's people who've come into the squad because of the injury situation, they've come into the actual team, the starting team, or they've come on as sub, and they've been contributing as well, and we're going to need that because of the amount of games that are coming up. So I'm just thinking about, Jones coming on, he scored and then, he played quite well. We've got Barker coming in. We've got also Big Shirley at the back who's come on for Barisic a couple of times and he's done well. So I think we've got more confidence in what we would call the sort of a fringe or squad players this season. I don't know if anybody agrees with that.
Bridgman.
I think that when you see the difference of different players scoring goals other than Alfie, the dependency lessons on Alfie, and it's really good for the morale of the whole team and the whole squad, and even all the fans. To be truthful, there will be some fans who really like Alfie and want Alfie to score more goals, but it's not going to happen now. I'm really pleased at the spread along the every single one, in particular the fullbacks getting up there and creating chances, and Tav's been a revelation back to where he was 2 years ago. Superb stuff, great goals, and it's magic throughout. And the young boy Barker scored fabulous goal against Motherwell. Really great stuff, and I'm so happy about it. I love it. I love the way that it's spread out. It's great to watch, great to be a part of.
Mm-hmm. Big Stevie, then Gary with this one. All right, Morelos isn't scoring the goals, but is he looked a more rounded player in some respects? Big Stevie, then Gary.
100%. I think I said that a few shows ago there. Morelos is getting very a complete player regarding his discipline, He's very a team player, the way he comes in and he brings people into the game now. And a few times he's come in deep and stole the ball off of players and started attacks himself. You know, I think, 100%. I mean, I would have him at my team. I've said it on numerous occasions. He's an absolute handful for defenders. No matter whether he does they go on the score sheet or no, he causes defences some grief, you know.
Well, before we go to Gary, it was remiss of me. Do you want to say hello to all your fans? I know they're all listening, mate.
Myself?
You better say hello to all your fans.
Now, can I just say hello to wee Lily Jeffrey? It's my friend's wee daughter, wee Lily. She's a right good wee pal of mine, and we sing a wee song together, a wee Belfast song together. So I'd like to say hello to her if I can.
Brilliant. You're number 2 in the fans list. Well, not actually number 3 actually in the fans list at the moment with the mail we're getting, mate.
That's straight to me. Thank me for the overtime.
Aye. Gary, Morelos.
Well, I still think he's in second gear. I think his season's been a wee bit hampered with everything that's been going on in the background. Not saying he's underperformed for us, but he's obviously been having things going on. And now that I'm quite pleased that the window's shut now, because I think now we'll get a guy who's focused fully on the squad. He has been playing more rounded and he has been tracking back and stuff like that. So it's good to see. But I think now, hopefully, with the window being shut, we'll get to see Morelos step up a gear now, because he'll probably not be worrying too much about getting injured before the transfer window shuts and stuff like that. And it's probably been in the back of his mind, if he gets injured, then he's not going to get his transfer and stuff. So now that the window's shut, he's got time now to just focus on his football and get back to his best. And like I say, it can only benefit us, because I think our squad personally has had the kind of bad luck. I mean, we've had quite a few injuries, and this is us still top of the league and only 2 draws. You know what I mean? So what we're going to be like when we've got a fully fit squad and all the players, all that talent ready to go, we've got to be in a good position. So
competition for places, Port Bear, it's never a bad thing.
You know, just to touch on obviously Morelos. You know, we're firing goals that we touched on earlier on. The goals are coming from all over the pitch, and can you imagine if we obviously start hitting the goals that hit, you know, the goal totals that hit last year and the year before, mate? It's absolutely frightening. And if you look at our squad, you know, right now, you know, in positional sense, we've got basically 5 centre halves. Obviously 2 goalkeepers, 2 full-backs. We've got Kamara, Davis, Jack, Zunga, what we want to call him, in the engine room, along with Arfield and Aribo. Tavin Patterson at full-back, Hadji Jones on that right side, Kent Barker on the left, and your front 4 are Morelos, Roof, Itten and Defoe. That's a lot stronger Oxford than we were 2 years ago, mate.
You know what I mean? That's a massive jump in quality here, mate. Right, I'll tell you what we're going to do now, boys and girls. We're going to open up. Well, before we do that, the back end of international break, which is starting next week, we're going to have a wee quiz and we're going to challenge the Rangers radio panel members, yeah? So what we've done, we've gave each season a number, that's including Newbridge, JFK, George Logan, and a wild card, which somebody will be picked out the lobby, by the lobby, to come and join us. So we're going to pair these up. So it's 4 teams of 2, and the first team will play the second team, third team will play the fourth team. Pretty simple. Do you think, Linda?
Yeah, it sounds good, Ox.
Right, so you, being the lady of the show, I think it's only fair, 1 to 8, that you pick the number first, and Fox will keep a note of this. Pick a number 1 to 8.
Number 3.
Number 3, first out the hat, JFK. And who's his partner, Bridge? What number? Well, see, this is live, isn't it?
Sorry, 8.
8. Wait a minute. JFK and the wild card. Big Stevie, pick a number.
Number 2.
Number 2. Port Bear. Port Bear, pick a number.
Number 1.
It's paired up with a bridge. So we have JFK in the wild card versus Port Bear and Bridge.
Come on,
Go on
Bridge,
yourself,
boy.
LGBT man. Go on yourself, pal.
Yes.
LGBT, man.
That's my team name. That's my team name, mate.
Right, Gary, pick a number, mate.
Number 4.
Number 4 is Linda. Fox, do you mind coming in and picking the number?
Seven.
7. Linda and George Logan
Woo.
versus Big Stevie and Gary.
On yourself. Young
Dream
team.
team. Dream team.
Yeah. Yes. Ballon d'Or. Ballon d'Or springs to mind.
Ballon d'Or. Nice one, Big Stevie.
Can I ask a question? What's the subject's going to be on?
We're going to make it all your
General
school
knowledge.
subjects like chemistry and all that, and then we go, we better know. Well, you might be no bad at the chemistry, but we're going to make it, believe it or not, we're going to make it about Rangers. What do you think of that, Port Bear?
I what sort of says it on the tin about our show's called, mate. So I hope so.
Well, I was thinking, because we've been talking about sweets a hell of a lot and plumbers. I was thinking, man, what I mean?
Can we get a specialist era? Can we pick for like an up-to-date era?
Yes,
That's a
you
good
can,
point,
you can have
Gary.
anything from 1872 to 2020.
Oh, man.
See, I've got Bridge in my team, 1872, see?
I could think that's a good pick, Port Bear.
Aye.
You can't remember what happened yesterday, but we'll get the ones from 50 years ago.
Shockers, a lot of you. Shockers.
Bridgeman, do you want us to redraw that? Are you happy with your pick?
Oh, I'm very happy, very happy. Port Bear's very good, very good.
You'll be the
You-
backbone, Bridgeman.
You
You'll be
never
the
said
backbone.
that in rehearsals.
Oh, you know, it was rehearsals, wasn't it?
Linda, who did you get the misfortune to be with?
It's George
Oh,
Logan.
George is one of the good guys. Could have been worse. It could have been Big Stevie or Gary.
I think a good name for London George is Kylie and Jason, eh?
Stevie and Gary, Brokeback Mountain.
Couple of cowboys, aye.
Well, Gary's the brain, I'm the brawn. No problem.
Yes.
We'll
Right
there. There.
That's it. I'll get to get the 9-in-a-row DVDs out.
Can we go back to football, Oxtear? Can I ask a question?
Yes, mate. Yes,
You know this situation with our manager being in front of the SFA.
yes.
Apparently, it was shall we say postponed or abandoned or whatever, put back to possibly next Monday.
Technical issues.
You just answered the question. Any? Can you elucidate a wee bit? No.
Technical issues. They're going to come on after the tune. We're going to do it live.
Excellent. Okay.
You couldn't get a computer to work, Bridgeman.
The supercomputers get smoke coming out. There's no work for them. Right. Can I?
So it's me.
Betting. Here's the latest betting. Oh, I've got the betting on the quiz. There's
Here we
been
go.
people already. Latest betting. 3-1 JFK in the wild. 3 JFK in the wild card 5-1. Port Bear and Bridge 5-2. Gary and Stevie 7-2. And all the money is on Linda and George.
Right, Bridgeman, we're not having that.
Oh, don't say too much. I think it's thoroughly deserved. Thoroughly deserved.
Well, Bridge is playing a long game.
I know.
Right, if people want to join us and they can come on and talk to a lot of the panel members, what's the number? Bridgeman.
The number's 0141 356 1972.
And you can join us at Skype at Rangers Radio. online. We brought in a call by Old School Blue and Fox. If you phone in, hang up, and we will phone you back. You're all together. What can you talk about?
All
All
things
things
Rangers.
Rangers.
Right. So the seasons went no bad. We've 2 sticky draws. We've worked out a lot of the times how to beat this low block. We've got into Europe again. Steven Gerrard, the squad, improvement since this time last year. But in a similar situation, but actually, I think we're a point up, actually. Gary.
Aye, similar situation, and the kind of same thing coming up again, isn't it? With Old Firm game being the kind of marker, and I think it was Linda was saying earlier on, it's an important game for us to kind of push that ceiling. If we get this win, or even a draw. I mean, a draw is not a disaster. I don't think, and just keep pushing on. I think it'll do us a good stead. I do worry personally about a defeat. I know it's early doors, but I think it would take the wind out of our sails a wee bit. But like I says, yeah, we can't complain. Like I says, the way everything's been going, I think without crowds, our team should be going there very confident, to be honest.
All right. Port Bear.
I'm a wee bit less, a wee bit less be positive than Gary. I think we really need to be turning the screw next year. I think even a draw is a disaster. If we fall further behind them, I don't want that to happen. I want us to go there and be positive. Absolutely, in Bridgeman's words, mollocate them over there, which I more than think we're capable of doing. We proved it last year. We were a far better team, only for refereeing decision, etc. And I think we're still the better team this year. So I've got no doubt we're going to go to, that place across the road, mate, in the 17th, and absolutely trounce them very comfortably and go, and stretch that lead to 4 points. No doubt whatsoever, mate. I think Gerrard has pieced this squad together very well, mate, and I'm happy with progression, mate. I don't forget what we were, like I keep saying, and Gerrard's doing a fantastic job. And I think this year the team seems to be the bit between their teeth, mate, 100%.
Oh, I'm so proud of you.
Thanks, Bridge.
You're welcome. What a brilliant answer.
Oh, this partnership needs broke. Linda, in you come. They're both me already, these two.
No, I would agree with what Gary and Port Bear say. I mean, in terms of the game, Ox, it should really be a game that suits us, because I can't see them sitting in and trying anything like a low block, because their fans wouldn't accept that. They'll be expected to come out and have a go at us. They are, after all, playing at home, albeit there's no fans there. So I would expect it to be a game that will suit us, because we like to play football, and if we've got space, we know we've got really fast players who'll get in behind them. And as we've said earlier, we've got people who are scoring goals from all over the park. So I think we've got to be confident, positive, and really go for the win.
You're here, Linda.
Okay, we'll be joined by our first caller. It's Dave Corby. Evening, Dave.
How you doing, lads? How you doing? You all
All right, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
How you doing? Hiya. You all right, panel?
Panel
good,
around
David.
you.
Right. I've got something to ask you, yeah? What do you think of the rumours of Jack Wilshere coming to the Rangers, panel?
Well, I think he'll be awful busy with his farms, mate. But I don't know. But I'll take that as Stevie to the drum. Stevie?
What can we say? It's all rumourville the new, but it's hypothetical. Just let's say it did happen. It's like anything else. It's a gamble. It's a gamble.
It's a gamble, isn't it? It is.
You just know. I mean, there are a lot of people saying the boy's injury prone and all the rest of the carry-ons that go with that. But look, it's trial and error with everything. So I think he'd be a good addition to the squad. Let's be honest. He's still what? He's 29. Is that right?
Yep.
29 years old. I'm sure it'd be a great bit of business for Rangers if they could bring a boy in. But I'll tell you what, I know he's at West Ham. He probably won mega dough down there. I don't know what kind of wage he was talking about up here.
Being released through West Ham, mate, they paid up his contract at the end of the season. They're paying him 85% of his wages, which I believe is 85 grand, so he was over £100 a week.
Can I add that, Alex?
When you go, mate.
Aye, Dave, I don't know if you agree with me, guys, in the panel, girls in the panel. I think, and I've seen this to a couple of mates down here, I think Jack Wilshere could have a similar impact to when Paul Gascoigne came. Similar age.
That's what I was thinking of.
Similar age, you know, similar stature. And I know Gaz is a good few levels above him, but Jack Wilshere's career is sort of in the toilet at the moment, but there's no doubt about the talent he has. So I think he can come into Rangers and have a massive impact at Rangers and in Scotland for that matter. So if it's true, like Stevie's saying, you know, if the rumour mill's true and we manage to get a guy like that through the door, he's also a commodity, isn't he? He'll sell shirts. So you know, but what a guy to look at if you're in that dressing room as a young Rangers player, young Rangers midfielder, and this guy's training beside you. I think he can only be positive. I personally hope that they sign him because I think he'll have a great impact in Scotland.
All right, Frenchman.
Like I said it the other night when this subject came up, I would love to see him. Love to see him at Ibrox. Absolutely wonderful player. I've sort of followed him since he was playing against that mob, and they put their youth team out, leathered them, and he was brilliant. And I think he's been great ever since then. I've got no problems. I would love to see him coming to Ibrox. However, the only thing for me that would be against him, and I'm not counting the injuries at the moment, is the wage. So there would have to be wages. I would imagine they would have to go for a deal similar to the Stephen Davis did. He would have to give, and Rangers would have to then make up something or other for him, a wee package for him. Like I don't know how rich the boy is, whether he's Tandoy's money or not. If he's Tandoy's money, he's going to wait for another part in the English Premiership. If he's put some money away, chances are he'll suck it and see. Because I don't think very many down in England will even take him because of his injury record.
Gary?
Dave, I follow Twitter a lot, and the start of the week, the amount of stuff I was seeing was were probably odds on signing him. But I've seen a couple of things. The last couple of days it went a bit quiet. In the day, I've seen a couple of things saying that he's obviously looked at what's been on offer, but he's still waiting to see if other clubs come in because I don't think the amount of money that we're offering him, I don't think he thinks that's enough. So, but personally, if the deal could get done, I think it'd be a great addition. I think he brings experience, he brings skill to the team as well, and for him himself, I think he'd be coming to a club where he's got a good chance of adding some silverware to his cabinet. And I don't know if that's still a big thing for players nowadays, to walk away with trophies at the end of it, but certainly he'll get that at Rangers, I think. But again, like everybody's saying, it's rumours, so I hope it's no dead in the water, but I would still hope there's something going on in the background.
Right, Linda?
Yeah, I think it would be quite an exciting signing, and you know, again, it's just putting another marker down in terms of our ambitions. And as Gary says, if he's ambitious, you know, maybe that's got to be put ahead of money. But if we do a sort of pay per game, we pay him for every game he plays. I've heard that being mooted. You know, he's not going to get an actual contract, and that would obviously take care of any injuries. But no, I would quite like to see him, Ox. But it's got, as Bisman said, we've got to be realistic in terms of what we can afford to pay him.
You're right. All right. What's your own thoughts, Dave?
Well, I would love to see him at Rangers. You know, I think Steven Gerrard will make him a good player and all that. You know what I mean? He hasn't had much time at West Ham. He's been on the bench. He's not even started. You know what I mean? He's fit as anything. But I reckon he'd be another Gaza. I really do. If they did sign him, I think he would be a good player for Rangers. I really do. If he keeps fit.
I discussed that the other day. My phone me when I was on my way home. We had a quick discussion about the Gaza thing. I can see similarities. Age, England international, but where Gascoigne wasn't again and where Wiltshire got to, they're two different levels. Big Stevie.
Yeah.
Oh, I can only agree with that, man. I see what you're saying, and I don't want to, but you can't. I wouldn't put that on the boy at all. Paul Gascoigne. Paul Gascoigne was world class. He's in total two different classes above Wiltshire. Easy, and I just think that would be putting that on the boy. If he came and people were saying he's going to be the next Gaza and that, I wouldn't do that to the boy. I definitely wouldn't. He's nothing like Paul Gascoigne. He's never going to be the world icon he was. But as far as a signing for Rangers, I think it'd be a great addition. I think he would add a wee bit of guile to the team. And a good young prospect. And he's 29, still got a lot ahead of him. And good question. All right, mate.
Yeah.
And you go Port, and you come Port, because obviously you had similar things to Dave.
I just feel, like David touched on in yourself, mate, it's the same age. I mean, their careers in the probably last, when Gascoigne was in Italy, his career in the toilet, he came to Rangers, he was relatively overweight. We had to put a lot of training into him to get him up to match standards. And, Gascoigne's was mooted as saying his best time of his career was at Rangers. Who's to say Jack Wilshere can't come in and reignite his career? And I'm not saying say he stay here. Say we even offer him a year contract and he sets the head of a light, wins a league title. He might decide to stay, but Rangers might end up making money on him and they might want a crack at the Premier League. So I see sort of ways of making money off him, but I also see, if he wins titles, comes up here and he really enjoys it. And let's face it, even if his family, you want his family, you want the whole package up here, don't you? But I do think he's that guy that's got that X factor to take Rangers a couple of more rungs up the ladder, especially when you can offer him Europe, etc. He's the guy I think could add the actual X factor in games in Europe and stuff. I do think he's a really good player. I agree with Stevie, not at the same level as Gascoigne, but he's higher standard probably in most of the midfielders we got, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think it was fair to say he was at that standard. Only time will tell if we ever get back to that standard.
Yes, I agree, mate.
And of course, sorry, Ox,
on you go, Bridge.
I was just going to say that we have to remember that the club's a different club if it was then, and Gascoigne was an absolute standout. And it was referenced a couple of minutes ago there. The man was already a world name in football and an outstanding player international. So the boy, if Wilshere has got any chance of us getting him or him wanting to come, and if they're going to try and compare it with Gaza, they're not going to do it because the guy will fail. There's nothing to compare. Nothing to compare.
No.
I think that the point you make, Bridge, the club's in a different place, not a different club.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bridge?
Yes, that's what I meant. I didn't mean anything towards anything else. It was just it's an entirely different.
I get your point now.
What be a sell here? Sorry, mate.
No, on you go. What are you saying?
No, but just say, what be a sell? How do you see? What do you see transpiring? How do you think it fits in? And do you Rangers?
The Jack Wilshere that burst onto the scene was when he came on the scene. I think some people might have thought he might have went higher again with Paul Gascoigne. I don't know if he's been unlucky with injuries or just wrong place at the wrong time.
Choose the Vodafone voicemail service for 0777.
I've not really noticed a lot from him now. It must be 3 or 4 years. I mean, he's a good start even at his England career. I think he's got about 30 odd caps, which is no bad going for anybody, So no doubting he's got ability. No doubting he's been a good player. Would I take the gamble on him? Yes, I would. If the deal could be right for both parties. It's got to be right for both parties.
Here, Oxshire. Here.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a similar deal to Defoe, Oxshire. I'm one of these guys who believes that any man that sits in a room with Steven Gerrard, Gerrard's got ability. Sorry.
I've been joined by a caller. Evening, caller.
Hi, how's it going? It's Ryan from Aberdeen. I phoned you a few weeks ago after that Livingston result.
That seems a long, long time ago, Ryan. But you carry on, mate. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. So I just wanted to call up because I just want to apologise to all the Bears out there for giving Gerrard a wee bit of a hard time. I was just disappointed on the night with the result. I just want all the Bears to know 100% behind Gerrard. He's doing great, and looking forward to this game next week against Celtic. We're in prime position to beat them. I just hope he goes along with the right team.
Well, we'll see my host, Ryan. Hope we'll be back in soon. He doesn't need to apologise. He's just disappointed after a bad result, Stephen. We'd all be apologising a lot on here, wouldn't we?
No half. I think it was the other night. I think Fox was saying it's been a long haul on Rangers radio. All the years that we were all serious when things were. I mean, we're talking about after park constantly and things like that. Listen, we all lose it at one point or another. It's just because we love the Rangers, and it's plain as simple as that. And we'll always get it. We'll never get it right all the time, you know. And the boys, fair play to the guy. The guy's come on. He's had a rant. He's probably stood back at next day and went, "Oh dear." And the boy's good man enough to come on and he's said sorry to the Bears. The man he has to say sorry, but because we all do it, but it's man enough to come apologise anyway.
The Livingston game feels as if it was a long time ago, GB, yeah?
Aye, it does. Like Stevie was saying there, you can totally get his frustration because, well, we as fans are dying for our manager and the team to have some success because, let's face it, they have been playing good football. I mean, it's just been silly games. It's cost us. And they deserve it. They deserve something. Even last season, I feel as though they deserved at least a trophy of some sort. And this year as well, let's say, I think the manager's got them totally focused because the whole bubble thing, keeping everybody safe with COVID and stuff like that, you can tell that everybody's on the same page. You're not having guys disappearing to sunsets and stuff like that, and folk not following. Aye, well, that's it, and no following the rules and stuff. It's great to see that everything's all in house. And like I say, this game next week, I hate to say it, it is massive. I mean, it's got to be a big bearing on the season, I think.
Biggest game of the season.
Aye.
Anyway, we've been joined by Alex. Evening, Alex. I think it's Alex Fairbury, I think, from memory. Alex, how we doing?
Good evening, lads. How we doing?
Mate? How we doing, mate? What's on your mind?
I'm for Wisher.
Sorry. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, you're all right. You're all right.
Tell me, let me make sure I got the name right. Am I right, Alex?
Yeah, you're 100%. Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
What's on your mind, mate?
Another fantastic show. I've just been listening the other night there as well. Just about how well the Rangers are doing at the moment. It's basically on one way you call it. Talk about Stevie Davis and that.
Aye. Do you mind Sir Stephen Davis?
Well, Sir Stephen Davis, that's correct.
Thank you.
What an achievement. Just what an achievement. He's what you call a top professional. And for all these young kids at the Rangers, he's the kind of guy to be looking up to. You never ever hear any bad publicity or anything. Everything's all positive about this guy. And to play football at that level and have that number of caps is just unbelievable. And he's a credit to the club and a credit to his country.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. There was a video, it was on Sky Sports. I don't know if you've seen it, Alex.
I've seen the tribute. Is that the tribute with the managers and the players?
It was brilliant.
That tells you, when you see the kind of players, what you call it, talking about them. Fantastic. And we're just lucky to have a guy like that. Very, very lucky.
And did you hear his agent about when he moved to Southampton, what he insisted on, or the deal wasn't happening?
No, I never heard that, but sorry.
No. If you get that video, I don't know if anybody on the panel's seen it, he insisted that Rangers got the money before he signed.
Wow.
Oh, did he?
Yep, I've seen that.
First class.
Oh, that tells you what the class of the guy is. There you go.
Right. I'm going to go to Big Stevie for the drum, who's a fan of Stephen Davis.
100%. Who wouldn't it be? He's a top pro for me. He's in there with Ian Ferguson, Richard Gough, getting none of the boys, bevy merchants, the way they behave off the park. Top pro, and most importantly, a very nice guy. I'm lucky enough to have a top signed with him in my boys' room there. What he's done for his international team, his country, has been absolutely amazing, and he deserves every single plaudit the guy gets. And see on the wee video you were talking about there, the made for him. Did you see Adam Lallana? Come on, the Gels, what the lads, he shouted.
Yeah.
He would be a good tasty adults, wouldn't he?
Yep, I heard that.
Got that.
Stevie Davis, absolutely top pro. And see, to model any of the young team, that's the guy you're wanting to model him on. Absolutely brilliant pro. And fair play, everything he gets.
Linda.
Yeah, Stephen Davis has been absolutely amazing this season. I think we were all wondering about how many games, he was going to have to play. Obviously he's still really fit, but Gerrard would probably have wanted to maybe rest him up sometimes, but he's not really had the luxury of doing that because of the injuries to the other players in the midfield. But I think he's been fantastic, Ox, and I agree with what everybody says. He deserves all the accolades that he's getting, and let's hope he goes on to become the most capped British player. I think it's Peter Shilton that's maybe got that. Is it 125 caps he's got? But I think Stephen will beat that. He'll definitely beat it
this week to play that many games.
Yeah.
Alex, the biggest tribute I can give Stephen Davis is that I feel, and I genuinely feel, that our club should have a testimonial for him against Northern Ireland at Ibrox Stadium when crowds are allowed back in.
I totally agree with you there. Totally agree with you for what the guys have done. Just with just listening there, what you're saying there about what you call it, the young kids coming through. That is the guy to look up to, without a doubt. He's having what a Rangers player should be, on and off the park.
And you can see with his daughters in that video how what the kind of guy he is off the park, couldn't you?
Man's a thorough gentleman, no matter what we say.
Here.
That's it, here.
Right, get yourself on mute, and we're going to have a tune. Hang on, Alex, we'll come right back to you after the tune.
I sailed the wild Atlantic, across the broad Pacific shore. I sailed around the stormy capes and I've heard the forties roar. I've climbed the Indian Ocean, I've sailed the China Sea, but there's a sea back home in Scotland, more than all the rest to me. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of my God. It's the biggest sight that I have ever seen. No more
There you go, Bridge. A wee number for
Oh,
you.
let me sit down first. Oh my goodness, I was dancing around there. That's brilliant. Yeah. I like the slower version of that, the slower singing of it. It's wonderful.
That's because you like the dances where you put horns in the bum. That's how.
Hey, behave yourself. Behave yourself. It's a blue sea of Ibra. I love it, singing that. Copeland Road, belting out. Brilliant.
Air guitar.
There's a Bridge on the air guitar.
We've done all that, pal. Don't you worry about
Don't know what, Bridge. Don't know what. Wait, elaborate.
I used to
What
do
do you
air
mean?
guitar, mate, back in the 50s, early 60s. Bridge was there.
that. Oh, when we were younger in the 60s, we were into bands and made up our own wee bands, went into clubs and sang and so on and so forth. Great stuff. Brilliant.
He's done it all, mate.
We're all crap, by the way. We're all crap.
Some Status Quo, Bridge.
Oh, God,
Whatever you want, you see
no. We're talking about the time when the Beatles were at the right, so it's a long time ago, you know.
10 years before Status Quo.
Yeah, it's good stuff, you know. But we're only young. I mean, we're only 14, 15, you know.
Bridge could sing whatever you want.
Now, somebody's just asked for 10 guitars. So, okay, sing guitar, 10 guitars. Then they know that song.
No.
Yep.
Very
Very famous. Very famous. That's it. You got it in one.
That's good.
Right, enough.
What?
Patsy
Right,
Cline.
Aye, you're crazy.
Somebody's asking to sing Patsy Cline. Crazy.
Right, move on. Bridge, shut up. Right. Alex, we've had a review of the season just quickly and we've looked at it and we don't know if we've conceded 3 or 4 goals. We're still arguing about that. But what's your view on how the seasons went overall?
I think the seasons went really well. Absolutely fantastic. In other words, we're playing ever so well, right? Good football. Okay, we've had a couple of mess-ups. What do you call it? Livingston and who was the other one? Hibs. And we played them off the park. You're up there at Livingston, you know yourself, what do you call it? The facilities and the surfaces you're going to play. You've got to be playing in. That was the thing about Jack Wilshere, what you had brought up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be a great signing and that, you know, but you take into account as well, like, you're going to have to go to maybe Livingston, Hamilton, Kilmarnock. They're the kind of games you would call it, want to be playing them on these surfaces. I wouldn't imagine with injuries he's carrying.
Maybe the reason is we've already played 2 of them, haven't we, already?
But you could maybe to play them again, maybe draw them in a cup and that, so.
I know what you're saying.
He's definitely, what do you call it, some footballer.
I would agree with you, but we shouldn't. But sorry for interrupting there. We shouldn't. We shouldn't be expecting to play him on these AstroTurf pitches. Absolutely not.
Correct. Yeah, correct. Otherwise, what do you call it? Yeah, be a good addition. He's I don't know what the fitness of the guy is like, you know. But I'd imagine. But if they could come to some arrangement with the wages and that, what they've got to be paying him, because they've been a right good pay down there, what do you call it, West Ham. Always, what do you call it, the contracts up. But certainly, what do you call it, him playing with the Rangers would be a great thing.
Can I come in here, Rocks?
Yes, mate.
Just remember, guys, the Defoe was on big money. It's down there as well. And as I was saying just before we went to the tune, I believe Steven Gerrard's got the ability, especially when a guy's out of contract and maybe try to revive their career. I think Gerrard's got the ability, because of the Gerrard factor, to sit in a guy with any room and coax him to come to a club as big as Rangers. Because let's be honest, outside, you know, in the Premiership, apart from maybe the top 4, the big top 4, who's bigger than Rangers? Who's bigger than Rangers? So I believe Gerrard, if he can get talking to him, and if Jack Wilshere's serious about, you know, reviving his career, because let's face it, that's what he'll be doing. And we're buying Jack Wilshere, in my opinion, for Europe, as well as to get the league title one. But it should be magnificent in Europe as well. So I think Gerrard's got that, you know, X factor to get a guy like that in the door. Just my opinion, of course.
Mm-hmm. Gary?
I've seen stuff that says that we're front runners, and I've seen stuff that we're not. But you can't knock the boys like his pedigree and how he's been trained to play football as well. I mean, even bringing that into our youth kind of system, if there are any young promising midfielders learning off him, just like what our strikers are doing with Defoe, you can't knock that either. But I just, like I say, for some of the stuff I've seen, it's kind of, I think we're more a backup option for him. I think he's waiting for other deals first, and then if we're the last option, then he'll look at us, I think.
Okay, we'll be joined by Big Al. Evening, Big Al.
All right, gentlemen, can you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hear us all right? Aye. Morning.
Hi, Al.
Hi there, how you doing?
Fine, Al.
You'll not be invited to the new bistro, by the way, so you'll need to find somewhere else. I don't know if you heard last night's show, darling.
Oh.
You can go with Stevie's laddie and play the PlayStation. We'll buy you a PlayStation 5 or something. Anyway, sorry about that. I didn't quite like the last comment there. No offence, but if Jack Wilshere thinks we're the last option, I don't think we should have him. And saying that, if we're in discussions with a guy, I feel he could add to our team. I feel plastic pitches or no, I mean, he could be utilised, certainly, in games, bigger games, European games. However, we have to work with the squad. Just going back to next week's game, I think sometimes we fall into this and we put so much importance on it. The result next week, it's imperative that we get a result, but it's just another game. I'm kind of like Bridge. A 1-0 win will do me. I'll be perfectly happy with a 1-0 win, but we need to go into the next game and get a 1-0 win, and then the next game a 1-0 win. Sometimes I think we might put too much importance on it, and it maybe takes your train of thought away for the rest of the games. It's a Mankey mob. We just have to do what we have to do, but we'll have to get that consistency and keep that going, if that all makes sense. And just one other thing, just going back to last night. That day I met you, Ox. I met you a couple of days. Aye, a couple of days, aye. But I'll tell you, I've never seen a guy that I'd never met in my life greet me with such a big smile and jump at the crowd towards me. And that's the big man for Greater Drumchapel, Big Stevie there. When I shouted at him, I said, "It's a global ambassador." The man dropped what he was doing right across and welcomed me with open arms. So I'd like to say thank you to that big fella there. And it's always a joy to hear him on the radio. He's certainly got a voice for radio, and that's me not saying that he doesn't have a face for the TV. I'm just saying he comes across good on the radio. That's my couple of points. Yes, buddy, how are you?
Hi, Gal. It was a total pleasure, buddy. You see, I'm walking along the road. Aye, you're shouting ball and who's Big Stevie? You know, I'm always up to the good, so I'm hunting on. This is somebody's going to kill me here. And then when you shouted, I'm the global ambassador, always forgiven. I was happy days.
I know, I was looking for the drum chapel. I says, I know how I'll meet some boys here. And I walked down that day. I was in getting a couple of things and I wanted to see the walk. And I says, I know what I'll do. I kind of Sherlock Holmes. I says, I'll just look for the drum chapel. But I don't think I seen a banner. It was a drum I seen. Even went past me, big man. And that's hard to believe. A man of your physique could crawl past somebody, sneak past somebody. No, it was an absolute pleasure. Look, I'll let you go because I'm busy here, man. I'm very busy, man. I'm keeping commerce going here in Australia, man. So, look, keep up the good show. But I think, just to reiterate, I don't think we should... I'm not saying no focus too much on that game next week, but it's after that game and after that next game and it's after that next game. It's that mentality we have to take a deep breath and soak that mentality in. You know what I mean?
Consistency, mate. That's all you're asking for.
Aye, consistency. And I think, really, we have been consistent this season. A few minor hiccups, and we can all go off our head and say things. And that's a good thing about this. Like, we're all at different places, but we can certainly come on here and voice it. We might piss each other off with things we say and all that. And when I can't phone in, I'm driving a motor saying he's talking crap to, you know what I mean? But
don't
I'm glad
you
we've got
Bridgman
that forum. Aye. Is that him singing Patsy Cline?
Aye, crazy.
Oh, aye, he's good. Hey, Bridge, just while I've got your attention, mate, if you're half mute there and you're not tapping your bunk, are you in the tap bunk bed or the bottom bunk bed?
Both.
Oh, you're in both? Okay. How long were you...
There's not much money under that bed. They've got to watch your light bulbs when it's
what's that fairy tale? What's that fairy tale, isn't it? When the woman's got the pee under the bed. He's got £10 notes. Or cougar hands. How long were you in South Africa?
What a shocker you are, boy. What a shocker you are, boy.
How long were you in South Africa? How long were you in South Africa? 6 years. Oh, good on you, mate. It's great being in the colonies, isn't it?
It is indeed, actually.
Aye.
He was only there for long enough for these summons to run out for his drum chapel.
Well, exactly. Record expunged, I'm aware.
That cuddle you got and all, by the way, for the big fella for the drum, that wasn't a hug, that was the drum chapel.
Cairo, come on now, don't interrupt. You'll be brought in with all the pomp and ceremony.
No, it's good. It's good. Aye. I did check my pockets right enough.
Go on yourself, Cairo, boy.
Well, we enjoyed the Cairo. It was also for greater wish you as well.
Well, just one last thing, and I'll let you go, but he's having a wonderful... Or two last things. You'll need to let me on one night to tell you that story about the JCB and the black bag of knickers. That's the first. And also, Bridge, I've been reading King Solomon's Mines, and you're Alan Quatermain in my eyes, mate.
Quatermain, I hated him.
Yeah. Did you? You're Alan Quatermain.
I knew him well, by the way.
I bet you did.
More like Dr. Quatermass.
Aye, him and Big Mbongo. Right, take care, gentlemen. All the best. Keep it going for the Rangers.
Stay safe, big man.
All the best, gentlemen.
Stay
take
safe,
care.
Mate.
Right, before we bring Cairo and Alex, it can get a bit mental on here.
It's funny, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the banter. Very good.
We've also been joined by a good friend Cairo. Evening, Cairo.
I'm in the huff. I'm not saying nothing. You tell me.
Poor wee Cairo.
Well, let's mute the huff. I'm all right. I'm good. I only take the huff for 2 minutes. Dead on.
Oh, well.
How are we all doing? This is great, isn't it? Friday night. No frigging fit by the weekend, bar the fucking international crap. And we'll go another week and a bit, or two, nearly feels like a month before the next
Language,
game.
Cairo, language.
Well,
you tell them, but
a week and a bit. What's wrong with a week and a bit? 2 whole fortnights then.
Shocker.
That's what it feels like, 2 whole fortnights to the next game because of this rubbish international thing. But we're all happy. I had to phone in tonight. I just had to let Big Al know the next time he comes out. Any time he gets cuddled like that, that's like the drum chapel frisk. You've got to watch yourself.
Stevie, you've got to have the right to reply.
On you go, Stevie. You know I'm telling the truth. You know I'm telling the truth, Stevie, didn't you?
100%, Cairo. I was in his back pocket. What a man. Big Al standing right at George's Square. Picture the scene. Thousands of people, bands are all going by, and he's shouting to everybody, I'm the global ambassador. Knowing that if I heard who he was, and behold, there he was standing with a kangaroo. I mean, that must be Big Al Rare. Right there. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
And I bet the kangaroo never got a word in edgeways.
Brilliant.
The kangaroo was told to hop it.
I can see the
shocking, by the way. That's shocking.
I think he was going to the counting house.
You can see the bushes, you can see the bushes going through the undergrowth there, just blowing away with that one.
we were actually in the auctioneers, if I'm being honest.
The auctioneers,
I'm going to be honest with you, the time he turned up there, I was half cattle. Big Al, but never mind. Right, Cairo, we're sort of reviewing this season so far. Here's your views. I know you came in last night, but we're talking about the club tonight. We're really talking about the team. How's it going on the park for you?
Well, it's doing a lot better than it was last season. I think at times we play some scintillating stuff. I mean, I'm not happy. Did you ever watch that time the guy who was in the telly, what do you call that, James Nisbet? He used to be in Cold Feet, and it was Wayne was born, and he was that happy. He started singing, "Sure, it's all but." It's just one of the things, you just get into it. So, Magpie, there you go. I think it's going great. I think they're. I tell you last night, I'm not going to go there what my view is, but we play some scintillating stuff at times. We play some really sizzling boys for 10, 15 minutes when we get tappy folk. We can't kill them off, and we're apt to lose a goal or two. No, that doesn't sound great, but it's a lot better than we were last year.
3 or 4 goals all season, mate.
I know, and it's great, but we're apt to lose a couple. They're the 2 headers. If it had been a better team against us the other night, we lost a daft goal before it, and all, so we are apt to lose a goal. We're apt to give the ball away, but it's so good to know we're doing well up front, which we weren't doing previous. Our defence, after that awful Middle East trip when we come back for that. So to me, we're doing all right. I mean, I'm in a cheery mood. I think the wine helps, of course. I'm in a nice glass of claret tonight. On a nice glass of claret tonight as well.
Oh, very nice.
So we're having I think the team's doing well. I think, being honest, pun for pun, I think we're a lot better team than we were last season. We're a lot stronger. We seem really fit. I think a couple of folk have commented on that in the last, we held a couple of games there where we were at the end of it. We were still tanking. Tavernier, for example, was still tanking up and down the wings and all that kind of thing. So I think we're fit. I'm in a lot more comfortable place than I was 6 months ago, and it's this consistency. It's this. I think it's a mental thing. I think once we get through this mental block, you just tanning a couple of teams, then I think the race we're away. The hair's off. We're off and running.
Yeah.
That's the way.
Alex, and then we'll go to Linda. Alex, any ad?
Yeah, I totally agree there. We're definitely playing better football than we were last year. But you can tell with the quality of players and that he's brought in, Stevie Gerrard, which definitely helps us. We've got a better squad in that. You just need to look along the bench. Problem is, you're hoping now, I think we've got 11 guys out on international duty. You just hope they come back unscathed, injury free. And
oh, who's got the show on?
Hello?
Carry on, Alex. Carry on.
We've got 11 players, on international duty. We just hope they come back unscathed, injury free, and we can kick on again. The game coming up next week, it takes care of itself. It's an old firm game, yourselves. You've watched them over the years. The team that's in form means nothing really. It's who wants it in the day, and just hopefully it's us. I really do think we'll beat them, but you know what all firm games is like, and we'll just take it as it comes. But it's game to game, and let's take it from there.
I'm sure we'll be round up as we get closer to that next week, Linda. But what Kyra was saying, we're definitely playing better football.
Yeah, I think we are playing better football, and we probably should have scored a lot more goals, Ox, than we have done. And I think that's one of the things we've been saying, all season, particularly in the league. We have found a way to win games though that maybe we wouldn't have won last year, and we maybe would have drawn a couple of the games. And you even think about the Ross County game at the weekend, we weren't that happy with the performance, but we found a way to win. And I think that's going to be important going forward, because when the Europa League games start, the group stage games, there's going to be times where we might play like that at the weekend. But as long as we get the win, that's the most important thing,
I think that was the point that maybe Big Al was making 1-0, 1-0, 1-0 at times is acceptable. Portman.
Aye, Oxford, can we just touch on, in regards to the players that we've added to the squad this year, the big question is have they raised, the quality at Ibrox? And does anybody who do we think have been the best signings so far? I know it's early, but who do you think's made the most impact so far out the 7 signings? Who's impressed you most?
I don't usually do this. Can I take this bizarrely first? Yeah.
Aye, yep.
I'm going to give my view on that. So far, it's only so far on the signings. I think the one that's shown the most is what he can do is bizarrely John McLaughlin. There you go. Because the rest haven't really had a run yet.
That's a fair point.
Here.
Aye, yep.
I'll go to Gary, and then we'll go to Stevie for the drum. Gary?
Aye, Oxy, I mean, his performances and stuff like that have been right up there. I was a bit gutted for him in a sense when he got dropped, but I can totally understand it. But it was good to the manager to bring him back in for the Ross County game. Apart from that, performance-wise, I mean, Haji's had a lot of assists. He hasn't always performed, but he's got a couple of goals. He's had assists. He had a good game against Galatasaray. So I would probably put Haji in there as the kind of next one. To be fair to the rest of them, they've not really had a proper run out, I think. But to be fair, like midfield as well, we've not really signed. We've been waiting for that kind of signing to come in, so time will tell if it's going to be Zunga that kind of lifts that mantle a bit.
And Ox, what about the guys that come in? Sorry, mate.
For me, Ox, I think it's been Big Balogun. Big Balogun, again, I think you hit the nail on the head. The rest of them aren't really getting a good run. They've been either injured or substituted and no get back in for a couple of games and had to wait bide their time. But you're totally right. McLaughlin's the one that's had the run in the team, and he's really shown what he can do. There's some of the saves in games there was totally world-class saves, by the way. But for me, I would say Big Boy Balogun, he was exciting me. I thought, wow, when he came in, this boy looks a player, you know. So, there's been a couple of them again. We'll get back to your favourite Ox, Mr. Hadji. You know, the jury's still out on the boy. It seems to be in Europe he plays great. I don't know whether it's the football that suits him or no, but look, time will tell. He's only a young pup as well, you know. But for me, Big Balogun looks to be a bit of a player. I think it's got to be hard for him right enough because Helander and Golson, you know, that's the pair now for me. But he looked a good signing, Big Balogun.
All right, I think Fox has joined us. Fox?
But a wee bit of interest in the betting on the quiz now, mate. It's still Linda and George's 1 to 3 favourites. Steady money for them. Port Bear and Bridge have drifted out to 3 to 1. Same price, Gary and Steve. And JFK in the wild card has drifted from 5 to 1 to 10 to 1 because we can't get a wild card out the lobby.
Thanks, Gary.
Is it feel favourite? That's a big tag to have, Linda.
Oh no, I'm not sure we're going to live up to that, but I'll wait to speak to George and get his views.
I've got to be really honest. I'll just tell you this and nobody else. You've not got a lot to beat.
You hear that, Bridge? You hear that, Bridge, man? You hearing this? You get in training, man. You get in training, my man.
I can only hear insults, and I tend to let them go. You know.
you get everything. You get everything before Christ, and I'll get everything after it.
Yeah, it's all part and parcel of the big game, isn't it? Really, I'm surprised at who was saying these things just a second ago. I won't mention names, but I'm surprised. Shocker.
Oh, you're building yourself up there, Mr. Bridgman.
Oh, yes.
I've got all the faith in the world in my Port Glasgow guy, Stato. He's got everything at his fingertips, and he's apparently buying a new computer for this what do you call it, this game. It's going to be a big test for him. He's going to get a supercomputer.
You're giving me a sub, what you said?
No, I initially said you were a sub.
I'll stick up for you, Bridge and Port Bear. I think you've got the most expansive amount of knowledge. Bridge for the 60s to the 90s and 90s to the present day, and Port Bear look a fair bet for me.
All right.
Foxy, what are you after?
Bridge was on the University Challenge representing Kingsridge, and his specialised subject was reading and writing.
without the W as well.
Don't worry, Stevie. I'll study for as soon as back. I'll be on the ball.
You know about the rest of the panel with that question, Oxdear? Has this been my strongest window yet under Steven Gerrard? As in signings? Quality of signings?
Well, I'll tell you around the panel. It's hard to say because he's developed. His first window was very good for him as well.
Yeah.
Cairo. The squad's developed, isn't it? Well, only time will tell if these boys will be first 11 players yet.
I think it is. I think he's both better every time. I mean, it's hard to say. The question you asked earlier on, it's definitely hard to say. Apart from the goalkeeper, as Ox says, so the goalkeeper's got to be the guy that's had the most impact, other than Zunga. I mean, Zunga's added 10,000 onto the viewing and onto the Twitter feed.
That was one night.
That's an absolute impact. So there you go. If you're taking, depends who you're taking. But I definitely think that in the windows, this is probably his best window. And I know a lot of folk don't like the wee Hadji fella. They don't think I think his brain's a lot faster than half of the brains in the rest of the players. I think he's thinking away ahead. His touches, when he's passing, sublime. He's gathering of the ball has been a bit sloppy at times. I admit that. When he gets the ball at times, he seems to his second touch is a tackle kind of thing. But when he gets that ball under control and he's looking, I think he'll come good. I think he's the kind of player you need when we've got this. What is it they call it? The short block or whatever it is you call it. I think you need that kind of player to unlock. That's why I like Stewart. I thought Stewart was the kind of player that could give that as well, but he's never had I don't think he's a fair crack at the whip. But this Zunga, other than his social media skills, I don't know what he's going to give in the field. I've never seen him. I really hadn't seen anything of him at all before he came to us. Itten, the couple of goals that he did score, they were strikers' goals. There were no panic or thing with there. It was just good goals. So we'll see. We'll see what it is. The big fella, the big centre half. Everybody says it. The first couple of games he looked impressive. Shit off a shovel as well. He can run like blazes. So I think I think definitely the signings of Taine is another, maybe another stair up to the top level. When you consider what we were buying 2 and 3 seasons ago, it's a huge difference.
Alex?
Yeah, definitely. I think the squad, it's definitely a bit stronger than that. They're better, would you call it, quality. Although a lot of them haven't any game time yet, but you're right enough with McLaughlin. He's just been unfortunate. He's been outstanding. Then you've got Al McGregor and also you've got 2 top-class goalkeepers. Everywhere you've got 2 players now. Well, that's the idea. I don't really know much about the South African guy, but Stevie Gerrard and Gary McAllister have chased him for long enough, so you're taking it, what you call it, he's a better player. And that can only help us. The wee Hadji fella, I definitely think it's European, but it suits him better. The Scottish game's a bit too strong for him at the moment, I think. He needs to build up a wee bit more, but definitely can make a pass. He can see a pass. And overall, what do you call it? You've got to be delighted with what we've got compared to way back a few years back there.
Yeah, Linda, I think you were making that point in a message today. 2 players for every position.
Yeah, I think so, Ox. And Gerrard's always said that that's what he needs, and especially if we're kind of fighting in all these fronts, the domestically and also in Europe. But I think we'll get a better assessment of it, when everybody's fit. I know we won't have everybody fit at the one time. There's always going to be the odd injury here or there, but if we get everybody relatively fit, and then we look at the quality of the bench, and then we look at players coming on and making an impact, these people that he signed in this window look as if they could actually either be in the starting team, or if they're on the bench, they could come on and actually affect a game. So, yeah, I think it probably is one of the strongest windows so far, yeah.
GB?
If you're going with spend, then definitely. It's been one of the most impacted windows. Roof was a good capture. I think that was one of Gerrard's top signings. If we can get that boy steady and fit, I think he's still got another level to take us. I think he'll score goals, and especially hopefully if he's fit for the Old Firm, I think he'll be able to find space in a game like
that. Where would you play him, Gary? Where would you play Roof?
I would play him in the middle, the free. If you mean, I don't like it that he's been the kind of guy who gets shoved out to the right a lot. I like it that he's the guy in the middle, because he's got that kind of leap on him that he can bring the ball down and stuff like that. I think the games I've seen him in, he's been kind of, you can tell he's still match sharpness is still not there yet. But I think it'll come. But don't get me wrong, I've seen the stuff that I've seen when he was playing for Leeds and stuff like that. He seemed to had a free roll. I don't know how that's going to work with Kent being the kind of free roll player. I don't know if those keep changing or not.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll be interesting.
Aye, okay, yeah. It's been an eventful window with Big Stevie. It's whether we can get these squad players to be really pushing for the first team. That's the thing, innit? It's in Roof. You know, whether we're going to be these people who are fighting for their first team jerseys.
Well, I said the other day, we were talking about the team for against the last game there, and there were 5 changes in it. What we've got to remember is all these players that are coming in, well, we've got a great squad now. It's how Gerrard manages the squad. It's how he's going to keep people happy coming into the team. And I think that last game proved that. It's just a case of sometimes, I don't think it's so much that somebody's had a bad game. I think he's got his eye. I know you should always put out your strongest team in my book, but when you're a manager and you've got all these top players sitting, Balligans and Defoes and sitting on the bench, you've got to try and utilise them a wee bit, you know, and I think he did have one eye on the internationals in the Celtic game there. But I think, me personally, this has been a great window. As far you look at what's went out, have these players he's brought in been better way to put out the door? 100%. It's been a great window compared to last year. I have not really sat down and thought about who he brought in last year and this year. I would say it's definitely one of his best windows, put it that way, for me, 100%.
Mm-hmm. All right, we've looked at what we've brought in, and right, we're assuming for this, we're just assuming that everybody's fit. Yeah, there's no injuries, right? And just when we go around the goalkeeper, just say McLaughlin or McGregor, however you prefer. Alex?
It's a hard one, isn't it? But I'm going to go on McGregor.
Right. Cairo?
I think just for the occasion, I would go with McGregor. He's been there. He's been through the course.
Bridgman?
Yeah, I must go with McGregor. Must.
Mm-hmm. GB?
Yep, McGregor.
Linda?
Yeah, McGregor.
Port Bear?
McGregor, mate.
Big Stevie?
McGregor, just for his Old Firm experience.
Mm-hmm. And, okay, fair enough. I think that's overwhelming. The back four is the first choice back four. If anybody thinks any different, Tav, Barisic, Hollander and Golson. Alex?
Yeah, I'd go with that.
Mm-hmm. Cairo?
I'd say the big fella rather is Golson, but that's just me.
Balogun in for Golson.
Aye.
All right, Bridgman?
No, just as you said, before you mentioned, definitely.
Yep. GB?
Aye, Oxford, the 4 that you mentioned as well.
Port Bear?
Tav, Golson, Balogun, Barisic.
You took Hollander out, yeah?
I've got my
Stevie?
reasons there.
Same back four as normal.
All right, Linda?
Yeah, same as you said, Ox. Same back
All
four.
right. So the Balogun player's unlucky there. That's the back four. So we're moving into midfield. Now this could be. We could see this differently, right? The 2 sitting midfielders. Yeah, we'll have 2 sitting midfielders and 1 in front. So we'll take the 2 sitting midfielders first. Big Stevie.
No. Man. That's a hard one. Come on. I plead the 5th. I'm going to go for Stephen Davis, and I'm going to go for Ryan Jack.
Okay.
I'm going to leave
Alex.
Kamara out.
All right, mate. Controversial. Alex?
It's quite good because we've got all the competition for places and that, so that tells you where we've moved on.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would go with that as well. Stevie Davis and Ryan Jack.
All right. Cairo?
Oh, God, it's between the 3 of them. I mean, personally, I like Kamara, and they big games like that. I think Kamara's good. I'd probably go Davis Kamara.
All right. Linda?
Jack and Davis for me.
Bridgman?
I have to agree with Cairo on that. I think that it would be crazy to leave out Kamara. He's done really, really well. Jack's just come back from injury, so I know he's played for the Scottish team, but I wouldn't count that at all. My opinion, Kamara's the man in. Stephen Davis and Kamara.
All right, okay. PB, Port Bear?
Stephen Davis and Kamara.
Oh, Davis and Jack, mate. I would love to see Big Zunga put in there somewhere.
Mm-hmm. I think obviously
do you know what I mean?
seen them yet, so
I know. I'd love to just throw him in there.
So, I'm not talking about next Saturday's game. I'm just talking about for pick the team. Right, here's Scotty Arfield's been on fire. Be interesting to see if he gets a forward midfield spot. Alex?
Well, he's playing with you call it Stanley. What about Aribo? Is he going to be fit?
I was saying he's fit for the one of the argument. We're saying everybody's fit.
How about Aribo?
Aribo. GB.
I would go with Aribo also.
PB.
All day long, Aribo, mate.
Aribo. Big Stevie.
Aribo.
Bridgman. Oh,
somebody check his pal.
I don't think Aribo is going to be anywhere near ready.
I'm not saying. I'm saying everybody, but just assuming. We're never saying next week.
Are you mean they're available for the next game? They're available for the next game. Well, I would agree that Aribo would probably get it, and backed up by what do you call him, Arfield.
All right, Linda.
Yeah, Aribo for me too, Ox.
All right, Cairo, did I ask you?
So you're saying Aribo's fit and he's fit, match fit and everything as well?
Well, just assuming he's fit. We're only playing a game.
All right, playing the game then. Well, I would just to be different. I'll say Arfield then. Nah, it'd be a Rebo.
Right,
It'd be a Rebo or Arsenal, I think.
All right, so we're playing. That's the forward player. Then we'll get one either side of the forward player and the centre forward. On the left, on the right, and the centre forward through the middle. Linda.
On the left, it would have to be Kent. On the right, I would play Ruth, and I would play Alfie up front.
All right, okay. Alex?
The exact same.
Portbear?
Got to go with my guy, mate. I'm on the left, Kent, Morelos, and I think this game is made for Hadji, mate, because you'll get space.
We're not talking about this game, we're just talking about...
Oh, sorry, I've still got to go with Hadji, mate, on the right.
Okay, I had a special place for him on the bench as well. Right, GB?
Purely if they're on fitting on form, I would be going Kent, Ruth, and Hadji.
Ooh, controversial.
Go on, Gary.
Controversial. Big Stevie?
Oh, I'm going for Kent, Morelos, and Ruth.
All right, okay. Cairo?
Kent, Morelos, Ruth.
Bridgeman?
Kent, Morelos, and Hadji.
Okay, I'll be honest with you, in my opinion, if I was picking for team on form, or what we've seen so far, it would be Kent, Morelos, and Ruth. But if I was picking again for their place, I'd pick Kent, Morelos, and I'd put Arfield in there. But just personally. Right, Fox has took a note of that, so he'll give us a team that's been selected. Fox, in you come.
What a shocker you are, by the way. What a shocker.
No, don't worry.
I'm just ignoring you.
Give us a team. You've made a note of it. Go on then, a mental note. So,
McGregor.
Yep.
Tav.
Yep.
Goldson. Hollander.
Yep.
Barisic.
Yep.
Kamara. Davis. And Aribo.
Davis and Jack and Aribo would go to.
Was it?
Yep.
Okay, then I can't get it.
Kamara, Gamer, and Jack.
You'll need to sit down, Foxy. You'll need to sit down.
Up front, Fox.
Up front would be, for me, Kent, Morelos, and Ruth.
All right. So, basically, for the majority of people, there's only Ruth that's got a place for last season's squad. And we were quite critical of them at the finish last year. Hope there.
We were, mate, but I think we've touched on the show. The team, there's something different about this team this year. You know, we did question their mentality. We did question, have they got that bit between their teeth to, get over this so-called hurdle when it gets to December time. Things have changed, Roxy, and I think that they were a different beast in a mental side this year. Players have improved. I think the higher quality of player that's came in has lifted the squad as well. And like I keep touching on the squad, everybody's looking over their back, Roxy, in every position in that team. You're looking over your back because there's somebody about to rip the shirt off your back if you make a mistake or your form's poor. So I think that's one part of the reason the players are getting driven on, because they're looking over their shoulder, mate, and that's, good competition, breeds competition, and long may it continue, mate.
It's a fair balance in the dressing room, getting the blend right and keeping everybody happy, Linda. That's when the management have got to work hard.
Yeah, that's right, Ox. And what Portbear was saying, it might be quite a relevant point. It might be about the competition. If people are looking around them in training, seeing the quality is better, they know that they have to perform, every week to keep their shirt, And it's quite relevant as well about the fact that it was really the same group of players as well that got us through into the Europa League group stages again. So, you've got to give them a pat in the back. But certainly, I think the quality, because that's higher, it's definitely going to put pressure on everybody to play well.
Alex?
Yeah, I agree with that. What do you call it? Competition certainly, what do you call it, helped the team to push on. But another year experience after last year, it's probably helped because it's the same amount of players. So I think, what do you call it, with the additional squad and like 2 people fighting for one position, although a number of players have not played yet, but you still know they're there or watching them in training. They're international players, so it's keeping everybody on their toes in that. And I think that's the way forward with Rangers at the moment.
I don't think it's a bad thing, but it's got to be managed. Bridgeman?
Yeah, I have to agree with what you were saying there. It's all got to be managed and managed properly, hasn't it? I think you mentioned something about, was it? Did you say Etienne was the only one that's changed, or the only change? Roofe was the only change from the end of last season.
The players
based on the players that we picked.
Well, the majority picked. Balogun got a couple of picks, didn't he? Hadji was in for a few, but the weren't consistent picks. Between the vast majorities, most of the team was the same players that were there last season.
Yeah, I think if obviously we haven't seen our team playing with, and you've got the boy, what's his name? What's his name again? The boy that's from South Africa. I forgot to say it. Zungu, yeah. He'll be allegedly he's going to be a tremendous player. Obviously, we haven't had a chance to see him. But going on record and so forth, you could have put him in. So him and Aribo in the team would be make quite a good pairing by the sound of things. Interested to see. Sorry, I'm away at a different tangent again. Sorry. I'll let you go on to the next one.
No, it's all about your friend.
Oh, I don't see half the things that some of the guys see. In all honesty, I'm quite straightforward. I just want my
centre halves.
Well, the 2 centre halves that we've got in the team and that were picked tonight. Balogun's a great backup at the moment, and he may come on and steal the slots. But the truth is, the boys that are playing the centre half at the moment have done very, very well for us so far this season, and did very well for us last season as well.
Yeah. Is that what's finished? I mean, obviously there's been talk about Wiltshire, but is everybody happy with the squad? Have we got that right? Is that right sort of wing position? Is that covered, Portbear?
I think so, mate. I think that's one of the reasons we're still looking to avoid Daniel Johnston, because he was your more advanced, he's like a more advanced midfielder. But since Gerrard's come in, mate, and when Candace went in the door, I still don't feel we've got that natural balance that we have on the left. Bridgman's always talking about having Hollander, Barisic, Kamara, all left footers, Kent on that side. But I don't feel we've got the same on the right side. So I always feel, mate, we're like a right mid, a right winger short, or for that natural guy out there. I don't know if anybody else feels that way. You mates like Hadji plays out there. Roofe for me is a striker, although if for Leeds he played anywhere along the front four. I do still think we need the right mid, and I still hope they look at that Daniel Johnston. The January's not far away. I hope they look at him again and try and get him in the door. But I do feel we're stuck short on the right, mate. One, yeah.
All right, Alex?
It's a good point. I think we call it, we're okay, to be quite simple, but it is a good point. I'm quite happy with what we've got.
Linda?
Yeah, I think, we've looked at even people like Jones and Barker, and I'm not sure if we feel that they could maybe fill that role. And people talk about how we've never kind of replaced Daniel Candace, who used to, support Tav quite a bit. But I think we're all right. I'm quite happy. Like Alex says there, I'm happy with what we've got, and I think we've got enough options in that front six.
Big Stevie.
Tell me a winger that's going to, a right winger that's going to make any more of an impact, and we're captain.
That's a good point, mate. That's a good point.
You know, I mean, I just think what we've got's okay. I mean, I agree with Alex there for Wishy. I just think what we've got, there is a point there that there's an argument there, isn't there? But again, I mean, Tav's a right winger, isn't he? I mean, the assists, the goals, he scored the 8 and 8, and look at the assists. I mean, you probably don't even get that for a right winger. I've just been honest with us. I just think that you might be buying and spending money that we really need it. You know,
what I'm getting at, Steve, is see the way Barisic and Kent work on that left side, where we Kent will go back and track back and help Barisic. I would like to see the same. It's just a natural balance, mate. Maybe I'm being a bit moaning, maybe wanting a bit too much, but I would just like the natural balance on both sides, if that makes sense, mate. Nobody, in my opinion, nobody's nailed doing that right side.
I get what you're saying. There's an argument there, you know, but I just feel as if, you know, could the money go to something else? Or, we bring a winger and, you know, I think what we've got the news, we're top of the league, we're in Europe, we're doing well. You know, is it something we need right away?
It's not essential, yeah.
Essential, but you've got a good argument. I get what you're saying. The Daniel Cadiz thing worked with Tav, and it's happening now on the left-hand side with the big creation and Kent. Barisic and Kent. I see the balance. I see what you're talking about. There's an argument, but again, what I just says is, I mean, Tav's a right winger, isn't he? He's an athlete up there all day, beating players, crossing the ball, scoring goals. I mean, the guy's totally on form, and he's red. What? He's absolutely red. What?
All right.
But if we're going to put...
Fox has come in again. Fox has come in again with the latest odds.
I'm away home.
There's been a bit of movement.
There has been a bit of movement on the betting. Yeah.
I'm away home.
Linda and George are on the drift in the market. They've came from 1 to 3 to 1 to 2. And some really good money coming in for JFK, because there's a rumour that there might be a Plant getting in as a wild card, and he's came from 10 to 1 straight into 92 again.
So who's the Plant? Is it a ringer?
Linda.
Linda LaPlante.
Oh dear. That's a bad look. That was one of my worst ones. Well, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, we've reached that time of the evening. Bridgeman.
Oh, what can I say? What a marvellous night, by the way. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I thoroughly did. And well done, Oxchair, and all the rest of the boys in the behind the scenes there. Loved it. Absolutely brilliant. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, in particular Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, every single one has thoroughly enjoyed it, and we're all Bears. Keep it going for the Rangers. Everybody keep it going.
Linda, did you enjoy being on with your friends?
Oh, absolutely. I really enjoyed it. Thanks for having us on.
Brilliant. And you'll be reading all weekend. It's a limited questions for 1872 to 2020. Can I thank everybody that called in? Alex, I hope you enjoyed it, mate. Cairo.
I did. Thanks very much.
The boys that phoned in earlier, great to hear from you. Everybody on, that's Bridge, Fox, of course, GB, Linda, of course, Port Bear, and of course, our friend Stevie for the drum. This has been enough. And a big shout out for Big Al, the global ambassador, who's come on. Always great to hear for the big man. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back on Monday night between 8 and 10, talking about all things Rangers. Take it away, Old School Blue.
Ever since I recall, I have followed football, and ingrained in my heart are the Rangers FC. Through good and the bad times, of happy or sad, it will always be Rangers for me. For when I was lost, I was led that beautiful sight of the red, blue, and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. And I vowed to my dad, if I would have a lad, I would show him the way as he did on that day. And so here I stand with young Lyle by the hand, after walking down Paisley Road West. For when I was a lass, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue, and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. There's a great sense of pride that I feel deep inside as I'm watching the Jazz with my father and son. And it's sure safe to say, at the end of the game, win or lose, we will all follow on. For when I was a lass, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue, and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. From that day I'd be Rangers for life.